because that is a valid point. Okay, you make an absolutely valid point in the sense of, well, then these dating methods were simply going back, and how do we know that the whole thing just isn't wrong and everything is completely wrong? And that is a valid point. The answer to that is because there are different methods of independent verification that use completely different methods, and they all give the same answer, and the odds of them all using completely different methods to find it. No, it's like saying, I did an analogy in my video talking about, you want to find out how old this certain tree is. Well, you can use dendrochronology, or you could look at the tree's historical significance. And each independent method that you use, it gives you the same age, strengthens the probability that that is correct.
With all due respect, what I would challenge you guys to do is this: find out the exact chronology of the when the geologic column was erected and the progression of the dating methods and how they were invented. And as I think you'll find is they're sort of, you've heard, like a stack of cards. If the foundation is faulty, everything built upon it is just as faulty. And if you remove the first thing, everything falls. The dating methods today, I think you'll find, are all based on the assumption that the geologic column is true. And if you remove that, then there's no foundation for
No, it's just
based on physics. The dating methods are not made or weren't they use completely different principles than that of the geological column. I mean, they're not saying, they absolutely do. They're based on radioactive decay. Th're based on physics. They're based on technology.
Let's do radioactive decay then. Let's talk radioactive decay. You okay to talk about it?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to try and find a quote. It was said that without the erection of the geologic column, all radioactive decay methods, save for perhaps carbon-14, which has a very short lifespan when compared to other isotopes, the long age of the Earth, like, when you say something is 4 million years old, 6 billion years old, you have to first assume that it can be that old in the first place, and the only way to justify that is the geologic column. I believe. Let me get one more. Can I get one more word in, please? If the Earth is 6,000 years old, those isotopes that you're dating would still give you the same reading.
Except for when the results come back older than 6,000 years old.
Wrong. No. You would still, because based on the method, and okay, so for those who don't know how isotope dating works, you take the parent element and compare it to the sister element that it's decaying into. Sorry? The daughter element, excuse me. Thanks. The point is, you take the two elements, you compare the rate of its half-life, and you say, okay, it would take this long for it to get to here. Now, the problem with that is you're assuming that the decay rates are constant, which I don't think you can prove.
That's been demonstrated.
No. What makes you think the decay rates are not constant?
Because I believe that there was an event in history where...
I'm not asking for what you believe. I'm asking for what we actually know from experiment.
Well, hold on. You said there's always a chance of us being wrong. You don't want to let a metaphysical hand into the door, but the Bible says that there was an event in our history in which decay, entropy, was actually introduced at a specific point in history. And what that looked like and what effect that had on the Earth, I have no idea. But I'm open to the idea that those dating methods that we're using are detecting something that may have happened very recently in the past, which gives an old reading, given a young Earth scenario. That's what I'm saying.
And they just all happen to conspire to give exactly the same date.
Say that one more time.
And these various different dating mechanisms all just happen to give the same date.
Well, they absolutely would. Why wouldn't they? If this was a universal event.
No, because they have different
methods. Yeah,
there are different ways of starting the clock, chemical, degassing, and they have different half-lives, right? Mm-hmm. And yet they all converge to the same date.
Right, and given my scenario, that's absolutely possible.
They use completely different methods. They use completely different means. They're based on completely different...
What I'm saying is that an event in the past introduced entropy, this is called the fall or the curse, that may have had a universal effect on all elements in the same
if you believe that the universe is going to conspire against you to make it look cold, right? if you believe that, well, okay, I mean, why not just accept that the universe looks old, right? But it's all part of this magical change that you say happened.
Okay, let me give you.
I'd say that's impossible to make it look young.
Okay, let me give you something. Okay, so what you're saying is that you don't believe what the Bible is saying, or you're saying that that event could not truly explain the phenomenon here. So let me give you just a different scenario.
John, can I just, if you are willing to introduce a metaphysical concept, as you say, right? Yeah. Why not invent any age for the Earth and say that irrespective of what the Earth actually looks like, all of that is just the universe conspiring against you to make it seem like it's a different age from the one that it actually is.
Simply because what's informing my metaphysical view is the God that I believe in.
Sean, it's what you're doing when you're saying it, you're taking advantage of our willingness to say, yes, it's a possibility. In the sense of, it's a possibility that I have 3 testicles and I just don't know it. I mean, do I?
No, hold on.
But I mean, is it possible?
It's a metaphysical
you take advantage of that.
Thing. But even
no, it is. You take advantage of it. When we say that we're not 100% certain and foolhardy, yes, I mean, you take advantage of that possibility. You say, see, you don't really know. It's not really certain.
Point well taken. You're a funny guy, but let me just come up. Okay, so let's use an example.
The ball's in your court.
What's that?
I said the ball's in your court. No pun intended.
Yeah, ball's in my court. Funny. So when God created Adam and Eve, this goes to the age of the earth. I'm going to try and make a parallel here. When God made Adam and Eve, He made them full-grown adults, even when they were only minutes old. You with me so far?
Sure. Yeah,
so any person looking at them would have said, from our understanding of how it takes for someone to grow up, we'd look at them and say they're at least 30 years old or whatever, however old we may think they are, but they're actually only minutes old.
Just like He created you, me, and everyone else fully grown to look like the universe was only 3 minutes old.
No,
it's a different metaphysical worldview, Sean, and there's no way you can disprove it.
Well, that's the point. If this is possible, if it's possible, and yes, I am taking advantage of it because if there is a possibility that what I'm saying is true, then it means there's also a possibility that you're wrong. And if there is a possibility that you're wrong, that means you haven't proven beyond any shadow of a doubt your position.
Of course. I mean, the very words worldview, it means that you've assumed that the world exists. You can have a world of it. I mean, without actually proving those assumptions to be true, you could always be wrong. But most people have
then we're on the same page, aren't we?
World, and you can have a view of it.
All right. So what I'm saying is this: that those isotopes that you're looking at. Let's bring this back to we're talking about isotope dating. Did we lose Aaron Ra? No, his name's not Aaron Ra. What was his name?